The difference between $1 million and $1 billion is roughly $1 billion.
I have found it's easiest to grasp if you translate it to time. 1 million second is approximately 12 days. 1 billion second is * 32 years.
Many people will earn more than $1 million over their careers. Having it at one time is the difference though.
Most people in first world countries will earn over $1 million in their career. If you work for 40 years, you only need to make $25,000 a year to reach $1 million lifetime earnings. That's less than half of the median income, and that's if you don't invest anything.
A nice way to visualize the difference is to use seconds. 1 million second is approximately 11 days. 1 billion second is approximately 31 years.
Get a meter stick with $0 at one end and $1 bill at the other. $1 bill is at the 1 millimeter mark.
A Google search indicates there are approximately 20 million millionaires in the US today.
So about 6% off the population. The average room with 20 people in it has 1 or 2 millionaires.
The common person definitely has a chance at achieving $1 million. $1 billion? Probably not. Even at $50,000 a year, you'll make $1.5 million over a 30-year career. And if you only save 20% of that and compound the interest at 7.5% annually over the 30 years, you also would have approx $1 million.
Many common people have the chance of becoming a millionaire. $1 million is not what it used to be.
Yep. Both my granddads, both pensioners who worked in mills, both had assets north of $1 million, probably closer to 5M than 1 meter. No crazy investments, just frugal and good with money.
Actually, the statistical person who reaches millionaire status are pretty average and low-key people. Most of them get there through avoiding debt and steady investing, usually in their company's 401k. If you are intentional and follow a proven plan, it's very possible for someone in their 20s to become a millionaire by the time they're in their 50s.
Assuming you work someplace that has a 401k, and that you make enough to contribute a significant amount to it, and that you are even capable of avoiding debt in the first place.
Especially since the sun is already blowing up.
Blow up kind of implies an expanding volume and the destruction of the thing blowing up. Although I guess you could say that the sun is blowing up in slow motion over 1 billion years.
I'll just say this. The housing market over the past few years has made $1 million seem much more attainable, and maybe not in a good way. Suddenly, homes that were going for maybe around $500,000 are around $1 million. Of course, that doesn't change how unobtainable $1 billion is to us mere mortals, but as they say, $1 million ain't what it used to be.
The idea that the common person has no chance of making $1 million is just not true.
The common person does have a very low chance at having 1 million all at once though.
$1 million is extremely achievable for a common person in a capitalist country in their lifetime. $35 a week. Basically skip a sit-in meal out, into the S&P 500 or ETF at a bit less than the average return since the S&P was formed would get you around $1 million by the time you retire. $50 a week over your working life is $1.4 million when you retire. People become millionaires accidentally all the time, and further, 12% of people in the U.S. will join the 1% income earners for at least a year, and 40% will join the top 5% of all earners. America adds about 1 million millionaires every year. You can become a millionaire by accident. You can't become a billionaire by accident.
There are currently 20 million some odd millionaires in the US alone, or about 10% of our adult population is currently a millionaire. While this is concentrated towards the older population, as you grow older you will also have a higher chance. In fact, the odds of you not being a millionaire by 65 are slim, especially once you take inflation into consideration. Okay, this one is a little snarky, but still.
Approximately 11% of U.S. households have more than $1 million in assets. It isn't that uncommon.
These days, $1 million is a house and a car. Even 40 years ago it was enough to set you up for life.
I mean, if you buy a $800,000 house and a $200,000 car, then yes. But if you buy a $250,000 house and a $50,000 car, you still have $700,000. Which is a shit ton of money.
The Sun is 27 million times heavier than the Moon. $1 billion is only 1,000 times more than $1 million. They are not the same.
The common person has no chance at ever achieving either. Many common working-class individuals will be millionaires in the future. With a savings rate of 10 to 15%, investment fund growth rates, and naturally occurring inflation, $1 million will be a very modest amount in 30 years.
There are millions of millionaires.
Almost anyone can accumulate $1 million if they invest wisely over the course of their working life. At the same time, it's not that large of a net worth anymore.
A middle-class American household could absolutely have well over $1 million in assets by the time they retire. Their house could probably get them 33% to 100% of the way there, and their 401k could make up for any shortfall. That's not even including checking and savings, etc. I'm middle class and our house alone should get us there by the time of retirement.
I think right now 10% of households in the U.S. have a net worth of $1 million. How much of that is actually liquid is a different question, but the idea of obtaining $1 million being near impossible is demonstrably wrong.
Lol. The average person does indeed have a chance of making $1 million.
Yeah, if I work 10 years I'll have $1 million pretty easily. I come from nothing.
$1 million isn't hard to get. It just takes a while.
Well, to be annoying, you can't blow up the sun because the sun is an explosion itself, Sue.
Most Americans will earn a grand total of more than $1 million throughout their life. Very few will earn 1/10 of $1 billion.
Anyone going to tell them that the sun is already blowing up?